Hello, folks. This is your host, Tammy Tuckey, and you are now listening to the Tiara Talk Show. We bring you rare interviews with the makers of Disney magic. Whether they be singers, actors, Imagineers, animators, they have all made their mark on the Disney name. Be sure to check out the show notes, other episodes, contests, our social media pages from Facebook to Twitter, and more on our official website at www.thetiaratalkshow.com. Are you looking to plan and book an upcoming Disney vacation? Contact the Tiara Talk Show's official travel agent, James from Destinations in Florida, by visiting destinationsinflorida.com/Tiara for a free quote. The link is also included in the show notes on our website. All guest opinions are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the opinions of the Tiara Talk Show or the host. The Tiara Talk Show is not associated with the Disney Company. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. And from all of us here at the Tiara Talk Show, have a hoop-de-doo day. M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Forever let's hold up and a high. Come along and sing the song and I'm excited to welcome this week's Tiara Talk Show guest, former MMC Mouseketeer Chasen Hampton, to the show. Welcome, Chasen.
Hey, how are you?
Doing wonderful. Well, it was so exciting to research the MMC because I haven't really seen any episodes recently, and some people have been posting more material to YouTube, so it's really great to look back at what, TV used to be like, especially for kids, and producing so much material with music and dancing. So it was really cool to see that this weekend and prepping for this interview. What was that audition experience like for the show to start out with in 1989 when it first began?
Oh, wow. Being in it, that I was in it from the very, very beginning. I can give you a kind of a sidebar. There was a movie called Why Because We Like You that was written, and they were casting for that originally, and they went around and auditioned like 60,000 kids to fill the roles of the original Mickey Mouse Club. I remember going to the final callbacks in California on the backstage Disney lot and meeting Tiffany, and Tiffany was going for Annette, and I think I was going for Lonnie. I met Jennifer McGill there as well. I think she was going for Sherry, but all the other ones didn't really make it over to the Mickey Mouse Club. But at the same time, there was a big writer strike. I believe it was like in 1989, 88, 89. And at the same time, they were opening MGM Studios down in Orlando. So they were saying, well, we kind of want to incorporate a live production as part of the tour, as part of the experience of the park. So they were ready to do a production, whether there was a writer's strike or not, rain or shine, because they wanted people to come to this brand new park as well. And then they went on to continue to audition and fill the rest of the crew there. I think they got 12 in the early on.
You were starting a brand new revival of the Mickey Mouse Club, so it was a little bit more of an edge to it, and it was a lot of fun to watch. I can't even imagine what it was like to run around a theme park all day after you get some breaks, in between for lunch breaks, because, like, my gosh, right? you have Star Wars in the park, Indiana Jones. Like, what were the most fun things to do when you were not filming? Because I couldn't imagine.
Well, we definitely got in trouble many a time for saying we were, being in school and saying, I got to go out to the restroom, and all of a sudden we'd all meet up on the Great Movie Ride, or we would find doors in the back and kind of find our way into the Great Movie Ride and kind of pose as characters, and we were teenagers, so sure, we grew up there, and it was amazing. But yeah, we were sure happy that pilot sold in the beginning, had that playground,
Did you run into any celebrities who were filming maybe a TV show or a film in the backlot? Because I know while you guys were in production, they had a couple films in production too, with with the Golden Girls and some other material.
Absolutely. I mean, I wish I had the list in front of me. It's endless, because at that time they were really pushing that park as a production studio for real. It wasn't just for show. So when they opened that park, that was back when they would do those Disney specials on Sunday, and everyone would kind of gather around the TV and watch. And it was a big grand opening. I remember like Hepburn and Costner and Molly Ringwald, and
oh my gosh,
who else? I mean, George Burns was there, for God's sakes. I mean, we were just like jogger up. Michael Jackson came by to visit at one point. It was just nuts because we'd have guests on the show as well. And as well, they were filming stuff for the backstage tour. So I remember running backstage, going into the park just by myself in a production hallway, and opening the door as someone else was opening the door from the other side, and kind of run into the guy. And he's got a 12-pack and a carton of cigarettes, and it's Bill Murray. And he's like, "Oh, you're one of those little mouse kids," But you're just like, what? And, as a 12, 13-year-old kid, you don't really know what to say, but you know how great of a moment it was. John Ritter, I mean, I could go on and on. There's been some great moments there. That's why I love to go back and kind of just hang out and kind of have fun at the park now. Yeah, so going back to your old high school or something,
You actually were a part of a musical group called The Party. You guys made a new album recently as well, but you guys are taking some time off from The Party. But I just wanted to bring up a concert you guys did in '93. I had no idea. I had this videotape that was called For the Children. It was a concert that was dedicated to raising money to find a cure for AIDS. For listeners who have no idea about it, and Paula Abdul was one of the hosts, and the Olsen twins were there. Everybody, a lot of people were there, and you guys were there too, and you got to put your own spin on some of the classic Disney songs while, performing your own material. So with that big group of you guys, like Michael Bolton and Celine Dion, like, that must have been an exciting backstage fun house.
The talent that was there was insane. I mean, we were backstage. I remember being backstage, and I remember there was like an opera or a girl singing really loud on the green screen, or on the screen in the green room. And I remember walking by the door in the green room and seeing Robin Williams up at the front of the screen with a glass of water, like the glass of water was breaking because the volume was so loud, and just like him just clowning back there and making everybody laugh. The backstage areas were nuts for us. I mean, it's really surreal. I'm from Oklahoma, so all of a sudden when you'd be sitting back there and you'd see Christopher Reeves or Cheryl Teagues or all these people, you're just kind of like, what?
There are so many people from this cast. From each season to season, there were new additions added, from Justin Timberlake to Britney Spears to Kerry Russell to Ryan Gosling. Has there been any time recently, or maybe within the past 10 years, that you guys have gotten together for a small reunion, or maybe there was a planned big reunion that never really came to fruition?
It's always talked about. I'm sure everyone would love to do it in the back of their heart, but it's just everyone's hustling so hard and trying to keep grinding but sure, we all get together in little bits and pieces all over the place. Justin as well. I mean, when he was here, he'd come on by, and just, like a sweetheart, just open arms, all family, and the crew as well. I mean, I've ended up working on a bunch of other sets and with a bunch of other crews, but just something special happened, probably because it was in Orlando and not in California or not anywhere else, and we were very separated, and we all lived in the same apartment complexes, and so after work we were still together. We were going out to eat together, or we were going to play volleyball or whatever, go to the hot tub or whatever was around.
It always sounded like it was basically SNL but for kids. Of course, it was pre-recorded, but you guys had like crazy schedules. Like, this was back-to-back, learning your dances, learning your material. This was
actually changed like around I want to say the third season. Maybe even earlier, but we were doing a show a day, like a soap opera. So like what you're saying is very true. We would wake up in the morning, we would do school, we'd get taken out of school intermittently to record a song or to start on choreography or rehearse a scene, but we'd always try to get thrown back in school to get that 3.5 hours or so of just straight school. But then we'd get pulled out, we would get hair and makeup, we'd do run-throughs, do the show. At the same time, other people would be rehearsing for the next day.
Did you participate in that big food pie fight that they had?
Oh,
I think
yes, for
it was
sure.
the end of the season. Somebody just posted video footage of it. I don't know if you saw it, but somebody posted a 10-minute reel of it, and I was, well, not real, but you know what I mean. But yeah. It looked like it was so much fun. Who did you get to pie the most?
I actually got wind of what was going to happen. I was one of the lucky ones. I say lucky, but now I wish I was more on that tape. So I was actually kind of scheming, and me and a couple of other people got like buckets of water, like 5-gallon buckets of water, and we slung them up on the roof and waited. So when they revealed the pies to everybody, and they dropped the curtain, and everybody, because first he said, come here, everybody, come close. And then when he revealed the pies, there were some people who ran for the pies, and then everybody else ran back, like going, oh my God. So everybody who ran back towards the building, we were on top of the building, and we drenched them with water, so they don't really show that. But so there was really no escaping that situation. But yeah, we got, actually, that was a mess. They actually had to bring in the fire department to hose it down. It was an expensive, fun time.
Now, what exactly did you decide to go for with your career after the MMC ended? Did you really want to pursue and continue to pursue a music career?
Sure. I mean, I grew up performing, so anything just performing and being an artist and expressing myself. My heart's in the music. I've always enjoyed singing, and my heart always goes back to the music first. So I kind of put acting on the side burner. I just continue to work on new stuff all the time. I'm actually working on an EP right now. Yeah, new singles, I Can't Breathe, ChasenHampton.com or at ChasenLive.com. You can find all the good stuff there.
And we can follow you on Twitter at XXChasenXX. And I have 3 more Disney questions I always ask each of my guests. So we'll start with the Donald one, which is, as a child, what Disney film was one of those films that you always liked to watch over and over again?
I have to fall back to Little Mermaid every time.
And our goofy question, what Disney character do you think would be your best friend if you met them in person?
Pluto.
And our Mickey question, if I asked you to name any Disney song at this very moment, what immediately comes to mind?
Oh, the Haunted Mansion.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, Chasen. This has been wonderful
Absolutely.
to talk about the MMC. It always is fun to go back down memory lane and remember such a fun, exciting TV show. I hope maybe at some point, would you be thrilled if they kind of did another revival somewhat near in the future?
I'm all for it, for sure. Disney, like I said, Disney's always been amazing to me, and I'm all for it. I'm all for going back, and I'm all for however they would want to do it. Even if we came back as adults and they got new kids, it'd be anyway. I think it was an important show for a lot of people.
Chase!